What's up, everybody? This is Suresh from Mind is a Monkey, here with another episode of Let's Check Out Some Diecast. In today's video, we are going to be checking out the 58th anniversary set of cars. And I gotta admit, this set is possibly the coolest set so far, right? So, Hot Wheels started way back in 1968, and in 2018, they kind of went full Rambo mode in commemorating and celebrating the 50 years of Hot Wheels, right? So back then we had this set of 6 cars, which actually included a 7th model, which is a pretty kick-ass 67 Camaro for a chase, right? So it got collectors pretty excited. Wow, I mean, like they're bringing these new themes for anniversary celebrations and everything. And then we thought that was gonna be like, a been there, done that kind of a deal. But the trend continued, right? So, it has continued 2018, 2019, 2020, all through 2025. So this is actually their 8th year of, kind of like designing and bringing out these anniversary set of cars, right? And to be honest, this is actually, 2026 Mix 1. So this is actually this would be their 9th year, right? Where Hot Wheels is, maintaining the tradition of, putting a set of cars in the mix and releasing them as anniversary cars. So I think back in 2018, 2019, and 2020. So for the first 3 years, these were mixes of 6 castings and a chase model, right? And then starting 2021, they started, kind of making 2 waves of these anniversary cars, right? And it ended up being 10 models and 2 chases, right? And these would be released as 5+1, 5+1 kind of a deal, right? So, more often than not, these would be kind of meh kind of mixes. But, I mean, this particular mix, I was definitely blown away, right? So, because, it starts with Bone Shaker, which even though it's a fantasy casting, is like one of the homegrown in-house kind of casting, right? That we have all come to love and adore and collect. I know collectors who collect this exclusively. They have had every single release of the Bone Shaker so far, right? And mind you, this was also like the secret super treasure hunt in 2018, where Hot Wheels was commemorating, the 50 years. So that was pretty cool. That was like the 16th super treasure hunt for the year. So it was pretty awesome. So that one, so again, might be a fantasy casting, but it's still kind of very original to Hot Wheels, right? And check out these other castings here. Number 2 is a 92 Honda Civic EG. And number 3 is a 70 Chevy Camaro RS. And number 4 is an 87 Dodge D100. And number 5 is a Subaru Brat. I mean, isn't that fully loaded or what, right? And to kind of finish things off with a blaze, their chase model, which is 6 out of 6, is a Corvette Stingray. I mean, how cool is that? So typically their chase models are always kind of the metallic, the full metallic version. I mean, it may be plastic, but the finish is like the metallic thing, right? So this is blue and gold. So the metallic part is the gold one, thereby giving it that golden finish, right? So a Corvette Stingray. So I was like, wow, this is a pretty awesome set. So typically, I mean, they have a mix of fantasy castings and, some castings. So I only kind of cherry pick some of the castings that I like, but this was definitely a set that I had to, kind of pick up the entire lot. All right. So without further delay, let's check out these cars. Number 1, we have the Bone Shaker. So another fun fact is the year that is imprinted on these castings, right? So that literally kind of designates the anniversary year. So 58, so 2018 was the 50th year. So that sets the baseline, and we'll have to work out future years from there. So this one is the 9th year, which is the 58th anniversary. All right, so let's open it up. It's got a pretty cool card art. I mean, all of these series have pretty neat card art. I I wish I had checked out the card art before I ripped it open. And but anyway, there we have the Bone Shaker, like your classic skull sitting right there. It's like a super modified hot rod, right? So very cool casting that a lot of folks have, like, kind of like some kind of like a sentimental attachment to this one, right? Because every time there's like a Bone Shaker, there are some very specific collectors who get very excited about this. All right, awesome. Let's set it right there. I think I gotta kind of like adjust the lighting a little. Okay, and at number 2, we have a 92 Honda Civic EG. Now, this is definitely one for the JDM lovers. And, whether or not folks are going to pick up the entire set, the JDM lovers are definitely going to go for this casting. All right. So, the Civic EG. All right. Pretty cool. I think you kind of got to appreciate Mattel for the paint schemes, right? It's pretty cool. The huge Hot Wheels that is kind of like scrolling across the body length, and a specific year designating which exact year these models are from. I mean, I like these kind of details on cars, specifically, sometime much later when you're like checking out your collection, you could just say 58. Oh, wow. So that should have been 2026, right? So, and up next at number 3, we have the 70 Chevy Camaro RS. Pretty awesome, right? So understand that, with regards to price point, these are priced like the mainline cars, so you cannot expect any kind of like a premium tires or some kind of like detail on the headlights and the taillights and stuff like that. So these are like your main lines, but they are like a separate production line called the Anniversary series, right? So definitely a beautiful sought after muzzle casting right there. Okay, let's set it right there. And up next at number 4, we have an 87 Dodge D100 sporting some Mopar deco right there. Okay, so that's pretty awesome. All right, so I know I have a collector friend, Andrew Douglas, who kind of like moderates the Fox Valley Diecast Club. So he's a big fan of this casting. So probably I'll hit him up to see if he needs me to pick one up for him. All right. So there we have the 87 Dodge D100. All right. Up next at number 5, we have the Subaru Brat. All right. This is a pretty awesome casting. We have definitely seen some releases, but every time there is a Subaru Brat, the popularity or like the excitement doesn't go down. All right. So we have Hella for deco, BF Goodrich for another deco right there. All right. So some pretty cool off-road wheels. All right. The 58th anniversary marking and stuff like that. All right. So all in all, a very nice casting, and it's almost like set for rally racing with those additional headlights and everything. All right. And check this out. It also has this nice detail of an additional pair of seats. So it's almost like you could watch the sunset, or go to a drive-in and watch the movie, relax with a couple of drinks and stuff like that. So pretty nice detail. Now, I don't know if that is something that's common to all the Subaru Brats, but I gotta kind of like go and check them out. All right, very nice. Drum rolls, please. We have 6-on-6, the Corvette Stingray that happens to be the chase model for the Mix 1, for the first mix of 2026. Wow, I am very happy with this model, right? So, like I said, this is plastic, right? But it has that chrome metallic finish, which kind of like, sets it aside as a chase, right? I really like the Hot Wheels lettering, which is pretty much the recurring pattern on all of these anniversary models, right? Fun choice of wheels, right? For that price point. And so there we have the Corvette Stingray. It does not specify the year, so, and I'm not a huge expert when it comes to these ears of Corvettes. So, but all in all, a pretty cool looking model. So just check that out, right? So, as if these 5 models weren't awesome enough, they went ahead and made a pretty cool Corvette Stingray as a chase. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that this is a fully loaded set? Share your thoughts in the comments. Till I meet you guys next time, this is Suresh signing off. Rock on and stay awesome. Bye, everyone.